Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our physical geography lecture on the internal processes. In our previous lectures, we explored the basics of plate tectonics, how Earth's lithosphere is divided into plates that move and interact with each other. And today we're going to look at some important additions to plate tectonic theory that help us explain some geological phenomenon that the standard model doesn't fully address. Now, while plate tectonics revolutionized our understanding of Earth's dynamics, scientific theories evolve as new evidence emerges. Now, let's explore some of these fascinating additions to the theory and the questions that still challenge geologists today. Okay. So, hotspots and mantle plumes. Now, one significant addition to plate tectonic theory involves what geologists call hotspots or mantle plumes. These are locations where molten mantle magma rises to or almost to Earth's surface, independent of plate boundaries. So, the most famous example is the Hawaiian island chain. These islands formed as the Pacific plate moved over a relatively stationary hotspot. The Big Island of Hawaii, which sits directly over the hotspot today, hosts active volcanoes like Kilauea. As we move north along the chain, the islands become progressively older, with Kauai being about 5 million years old. Now, this age progression creates sort of a conveyor belt of islands. So, in fact, examining the Pacific floor, we see evidence of former islands which are now well below sea level, and we call these seamounts. Now, I'm going to share with you the United States Geological Survey they have a lot of information, but I want to share with you here. Let me enlarge it here. There we go. This is the United States Geological Survey website, and they have a great graphic here showing the Pacific Ocean. And right here is the current Hawaiian Islands that are above sea level, okay? Now, as the Pacific plate moved northward, northwestern, I should say, moved northwest. Actually, I am going to try and get my annotation up so that I can draw a little bit. So as the Pacific plate moved northwest in this direction, it left this chain of Hawaiian islands. Okay, so if the Pacific Ocean was drained, we would still have the islands all along here. So here's a long island chain. So right here are the current Hawaiian islands. As we move north, we have the Hawaiian Ridge, and we have more Hawaiian islands. Now, then we also have the Emperor Seamount here in the northern portion. These are 49.2 million years old. Up here, they go to 55.5 million years old. And as we reach close to the Aleutian Islands, 75.8 million years old. Again, this Pacific plate is moving northward and it is subducting underneath the North American plate, creating the Aleutian Island chain here, as well as the Japan chain that is just off the image. Okay. All right. So let's clear all drawings and go back to our slideshow. Perfect. Okay. All right. So continuing on, let's see. Which slide do I want to be on? I'm sorry. Okay. So talking about these hotspots, Yellowstone National Park provides another dramatic example of a hotspot. While we don't typically associate volcanic activity with the interior of North America, Yellowstone sits atop a massive hotspot. And this hotspot powers the park's famous geysers and hot springs, including Old Faithful. The Yellowstone hotspot has actually moved over time, leaving a track of extinct calderas across southern Idaho. A caldera, will explain what that is later, but it's an extinct volcano. Now, what causes these hotspots? Well, scientists aren't entirely certain what causes them. The traditional explanation suggests that mantle plumes originate from deep within Earth, perhaps at the boundary between the mantle and the core. And these plumes of hot material rise through the mantle due to their buoyancy, similar to how hot wax rises in a lava lamp. So, however, recent research using seismic tomography, a technique similar to a CT scan that maps Earth's interior, should suggest that the explanation may be more complex. Some mantle plumes may be relatively shallow rather than originating from the core mantle boundary. Now, even more surprisingly, some hot spots may not be completely stationary as we once thought. They might actually be moving over geologic time. Iceland presents an interesting case as it sits atop both the mid-Atlantic ridge, which is a plate boundary, divergent plate boundary, and a hot spot. So this is why Iceland is a huge tourist destination, especially for geology enthusiasts. So this combination of the mid-Atlantic ridge and sitting on top of a hotspot explains why Iceland is so much larger than other segments of the mid-Atlantic ridge that rise above sea level. Okay. All right. The next important addition to plate tectonic theory is the concept of accreted terranes. Now, a terrane is a small to medium-sized mass of lithosphere that is too buoyant to be subducted when it encounters another plate. Instead of being forced down into the mantle, these pieces of crust are accreted or fused to the larger plate, what makes terranes particularly interesting is that they often have geological characteristics very different from the plates that they join. They might have different rock types, fossil records, or magnetic properties, indicating that they formed in completely different environments. North America provides some dramatic examples. Much of Alaska, Western Canada, and the Western United States are actually a mosaic of several dozen distinct terranes that collided with the North American plate, with the North American plate over millions of years. For instance, Rangelia is a terrane that now forms parts of Alaska, British Columbia, and the Yukon. It originated as an island arc in the Pacific and journeyed northward before accreting to North America about 100 million years ago. The rocks here contain tropical fossils, indicating that it formed much closer to the equator. Even parts of Manhattan in New York City sit on terrain that originated from the ancient continent of Gondwana, showing that terrane accretion isn't limited to the Western North America. So this recognition of terranes has helped geologists solve puzzles where rock formations didn't match surrounding geology. It also helps explain why the western edge of North America has such complex and varied geologic features compared to the relatively stable eastern regions. So while plate tectonics provide a powerful framework for understanding Earth's dynamics, several important questions remain unanswered. First, is the contemporary pattern of plates adequate to explain all mountain belts? Well, some mountain ranges, like the Atlas Mountains in Morocco or or mountain ranges in Central Asia, they don't fit neatly into the standard model of formation at convergent boundaries. Second question is, why do the number, size, and shape of plates seem to vary through geologic time? When we look at geologic record, we find evidence that at some points in Earth's history, there were more plates than exist today, and at other times there were fewer. So what is driving these changes? This leads to another question. Why do plate size vary so much? Today, the Pacific Plate is enormous, while others, like the Juan de Fuca Plate off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, are relatively tiny. And what determines these size differences? Another question that is still unanswered is what determines the zones of weaknesses where plate boundaries first develop? When a continent begins to break apart, like the Eastern African ridge is doing, like Eastern Africa is doing, what factors are determining exactly where the split occurs? Another question that is unanswered is what explains tectonic activity in the middle of plates? Traditional plate tectonic theory suggests that the interiors of plates should be relatively stable. Yet we find phenomenon like the New Madrid seismic zone in the central United States. This produced a major earthquake in 1811, 1812, despite being far from any plate boundary. Last, another question is, what is the ultimate cause of plate movement? Now, we do know convection in the mantle is a commonly accepted explanation, but the precise mechanism driving this convection and how it couples with the lithosphere remains an ongoing research. So in this video, we explored how the basic theory of plate tectonics has been enhanced with concepts like hotspots, mantle plumes, and terranes. These additions help explain geologic features and processes that the standard model didn't fully address. We've also highlighted several questions that remain at the frontier of geological research. So this really geological research and the theory of plate tectonics is a relatively new theory in terms of science. So this reminds us that science is an ongoing process. Even well-established theories like plate tectonics continue to evolve as new evidence emerges and new analytical techniques become available. In our next lecture, we're going to talk about volcanism, volcanoes, and learn more about that. So thank you for watching.